Hey folks, Vince the Evil DM back with another episode of Railguns and Dragons. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the progress through the book. The series is moving along nicely. We got some ideas of some other books to do in the fantasy series, which I will get to as soon as we're done with this book. Try to review as many of them as possible in my own way, because I'm not really good at reviews. I shouldn't say I'm not good at them, I just don't like reviews all the time, unless I have some type of special attachment to it. So on to the book. Let's get on to our next thing. Don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel here, the short videos I do sometimes once or twice a week, just to get an idea of what other DMs or the community think. And on to the book. Turn to page 123 in the book, and we will talk about the Mind Mage. So this is your psionics character right here. They draw their power from their inner self. No need for prayers, magical words, or gestures. If they will it, it will happen. I mean, it could be regardless if they're tied up, blindfolded, even gagged. It doesn't matter. They can will it. It will happen. They don't have to say anything. They don't have to gesture at all. It's all in the mind. Now, if they go brain dead or somehow you lock their mind in a jar, different story. So they use inner strength points, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, because this class's inner ability describes one who has the feeling of superiority to almost everybody, with a cocky attitude, and basically snubbing any form of magic, because their ability is internal, and I guess comes from their mind, as opposed to mages having to chant and gesture, or priests having to pray, or a witch having to worship a demon or something for their abilities. The Mind Mage is basically just one of just, haha, I'm better than everybody else. You can multi-class with this character, or multiple class with this character, but he really won't go into anything that is magic-wise, because he kind of looks on down upon any other magical form. He'll do it if he has to. But, I mean, he has such a strong ability of psionics. Also, for this class, you need to have a very high or strong level of psionics. When you're first rolling up your character, most GMs, and we'll go to that page right now, will start here, and you're supposed to roll for psionics. Now, some GMs don't play with it. I'm not using psionics in my campaign as a base, but you can. And it's really up to you as the GM what you want to do. Your campaign, your world. But you're supposed to roll for psionics, and 1 through 60, you'd have no psionic abilities. 61 through 79, you'd have some minor psionic abilities, and you'd go over this to figure it out. What you're looking for the Mind Mage is a Major, so 80, 89, or 90 to 100 for Master. Now, to fully make use of this class, you are going to want to get the Master. The Major psionist, or major mind mage, is basically a pseudo mind mage, and they're very limited in their abilities. In fact, they have to roll each level, each time they increase in power, roll to see if they even know they have any more abilities, and roll to see if they can even use those abilities. So they are only limited. They're also only limited to 3rd level abilities in Mind Mage. Once they get to that, they're capped as far as learning new abilities. Their ISP, which we'll get to in a second, will increase, obviously, but it increases at a lower level than a normal Mind Mage. So, you really want to go for a Major. So unless you get Master, then this class is only half as good as it should be for you. It's really up to you as the player. Do you want to have the ability to have some psionic abilities, and then you can just go jump into something else? Yeah, I would think it's worth it, just to have some of that ability and get some levels of it in it. I think it would be perfect. Talking ISP again, which is your inner strength points. How do you get these? Well, a major psionicist will get them starting at 1st level, obviously, but you take your mental endurance and you add 1d8. And then every level of Mind Mage going after that, you get 1d8. Not bad. Each one of these little abilities that you can do as a pseudo Mind Mage are listed here, and every one of them does have a certain cost to maintain it, cast it. I shouldn't say cast it, maintain it, or will it. and it'll tell you how many ISPs it is. Some of them are little, some of them a lot. Obviously, the higher level ones take a little bit more the ability to do it. Now, with the major, I'm sorry, I keep saying major, with Master Psionicist or Mastermind Mage, or the actual class itself, you can take your ME and roll a d20, and that's how you get your ISP to start. Now, every level after that, you automatically just get 10. Pretty cool. A Master Mind Mage or Master Psionicist gets all the abilities regardless of what level he is. I mean, I shouldn't say that. He gets all the abilities when he obtains the level. There is no rolling to see if you have the ability for this or that. As soon as you hit that new level, the powers manifest and you are able to use them. There's no seeing if you need to use it like a pseudo, or seeing if you realize you have these new abilities. No, you just get access to them and you can do them. Pretty simple, right? So there are really no alignment restrictions for this class, so you could be anything you want to be. As far as weapons are concerned, there's no real restrictions on this class, but armor, they do say armor is hard leather, studded leather, and chainmail, and double mail. All those are okay. Those are on the heavier side, or maybe mid-side to heavier side. Again, the same negatives apply when prowling and things like that, but there's no real restrictions. Hand-to-hand combat, much like wizards again. Most of all the magical classes refer to that. Religion, whatever you want. There's no, restrictions on that. But they do make a note here on the next page when they talk about religion that some religions believe that their psionics is the sign of the devil and destroy that person as a witch. So you got that whole, Catholic Christian thing going on from the medieval times when, that person has magical powers, they're a witch. So they got to burn you at the stake. One of those things. You need an IQ 9 of this class, obviously a major or master psionics. You get read and write at plus 50% right away off the bat. You speak 3 additional languages, and obviously you get magical combat. At level 1, you choose 7 electives. 3 at level 3, and 3 at level 8, and 3 at level 12. At secondary skills, you get to choose 10, which is quite a bit. At level 1, then 4 at level 4, and 4 at level 10. Now, for your elective skills, you get pretty much a nice little giant list here, but you also get the 4 abilities, just like a wizard, to pick from. So you can recognize runes, study circles, study symbols, and study wards as some of your abilities. Again, your secondary skills is pretty much the same thing basically as a lot of classes have that are magic inclined. You get bonuses for these things. Boom. Pretty simple there. Magical combat, you get the save versus psionic attack +1. You also get to recognize illusions at 39%, which increases to 69. And finally, by level 13, you're at a 92% chance of just recognizing illusions left and right. You need 200 experience points +1. Get to level 2. All around, this is a pretty decent class. I mean, it's nothing really special, but the psionic ability, if you get a master, you have access to all of these things as you obtain the level. And as long as you have enough points to will the power, like, for example, some of them are 8 points. Some of them are 12, 6, then they go down to 4, 2. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but as long as you have the points to spend it, you can do it. And obviously, it's the same thing. You cast the same exact way as most magic users, so to speak. So it's you have the points, you can cast it. Pretty much, that's a simple thing to say. Do you use psionics in your campaign? I'm just curious if a lot of people do it. I always saw psionics class as, I hate to say it, like the Jedi character of fantasy, and I've never really used a lot of psionic classes in any of my games. Not to say that if a player really wanted to play one, I would say no. I would probably have to trust that player, because I could see some abuse happening in this with this class. But overall, it could be a fun class. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video your first time here. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that bell notification so you know when when my videos go out there. Unscripted Evil every Friday night, where we talk about topics in the old school gaming community, regardless of what community you think that is, or I should say the hobby, because we don't consider it a community. The old school hobby, and this Palladium is considered old school to me, at least in my point of view. So stay tuned next time for another episode. So keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.